Because what is individual success if it's happening on stolen land with stolen resources, the expense of the vast majority of people on the world?
Like
that's pretty terrifying to me.
Yeah.
That you know, this beautiful music that is being made happens with gear that is made from stolen resources. I want music to keep being made, but just not with stolen resources. So that's why we got to pay reparations and support the African liberation, because they're building that world where people can make music and do things that aren't that don't have this terrible chain of violence and suffering to make it happen. And that's just the material reality that we can no longer ignore. Willful ignorance is violence, you know. We have to stop seeing reality as we want it to be and start seeing it for how it actually is. And the theory of African internationalism will help you do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's in the Burning Spear newspaper, they have the 14 points of African internationalism. It's really, you can read it online too, but it's in every edition. Or what's the quote you say, Casey? Like,
oh, I can't keep, I love dance parties, but the reason I want Club Reparations to happen is because it's a dance party that functions as political organizing and funneling of resources, because I can't just keep dancing while the world burns.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right. And I know that it's ultimately not right. And so everything that I do as a white person, I want to be in solidarity with African struggle for liberation in some way or form. And I think that we all can do that in small ways from wherever we are. I respect everyone where they are in their journey, and everyone has a role in this revolution. Anyone that wants a free world, that is a freedom-loving person, has a role in this. However small or large it may be.
Yeah, and for those that are, that are tuning in that want to know, how can I get involved? Where do I go?
Help us with the Days in Solidarity with African People campaign. Help us raise resources to bring Chairman Omali Yeshitela to Boston, to Penny Hess, Yashika Clemens.
Doing that. We need a whole team of people. We need support roles. We need people to do flyering. We need
And look everything. Up GoFundMe.com/Justice4Dominique and get unity and solidarity around the campaign for the 3 African girls that were drowned by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department. Sign the petition to support Black community control of the police. Sign the petition, Africans Charge Genocide. The United Nations has never recognized what has happened and is currently happening to African people as a genocide, even though in the last decade alone, the U.S. is funding proxy wars in the Congo that's killed tens of millions of Africans alone, just in the last decade, just in the Congo.
Yeah, if you go to africanschargegenocide.org, there you can read the petition. There's like a short version, but then definitely read the longer version. It goes into really great detail about every example you could think of and more, and then and they're at the end, it's what they're asking for, among other things, for reparations about $14 trillion, which on one hand, how can you put a number on a value on human lives and everything, but that's such a huge number. And then if you think about it, if that was legitimately paid back,
the U.S.
capitalism
economy
would just stop. The U.S. would just crumble, because every bank everywhere, or someone said actually that's the same amount of money that banks were paid after 2008 or something, if instead that money was given to reparations instead of the banks would just fall. This society we live in wouldn't exist. It would just crumble, which is what they want to happen, so they can build a better world, where African people can have the self-determination to exist however they want.
Right. And when we talk about why it's so important that the revolution is led by African people and colonized people, is because Malcolm X talked about how Black people are sitting on the hot stove and white people are looking at the stove, and the only people that know how to deal with the stove is the only way that you can know how to turn off the stove is if you're sitting on it, There's this epistemological understanding of how to forward the revolution because of being the most affected. And so this is not to say that we mean that African and colonized people are doing all the work for the revolution. We have to do our own work too. White people have to organize ourselves, hit the masses. If we're not organizing white people, the right is, Donald Trump is. We have to go into our communities, knock on doors, go out and table and sell burning spear newspapers to other white people. If we're not uniting with the masses, we're not really doing the work. So it's about following direction and getting guidance for political education from African and colonized people, but still doing the work and answering the call for reparations, for solidarity. Power needs to be put back into the bottom in order to take out the top.
Word. And another thing to mention, because you were saying ways that people out there can support the Uhuru movement. There's also, for any white folks out there, UhuruSolidarity.org is the website for the Uhuru Solidarity movement. And that's where you can sign up to be a member. You can start paying reparations today. You can be a member, and if you're in this area, so I just made an email account a few days ago for our potential future, it's going to happen, Boston chapter of the USM. You can email us at usmboston@riseup.net. That's how you can personally get in contact with us. If you have any questions about what we've talked about, or if you want to talk more, we would love to just, we can get together, talk to you more about it.
Or if you want to volunteer Club Reparations and just be there as someone, just help the event run smoothly and again, bring all your friends. It's going to be a very powerful event where we're going to continue this discussion, where there's going to be good food, good music, and a real devotion to peace, because there can be no peace without justice. We have to absolutely have justice for the 3 drowned girls, Dominique, Lanaya, and Ashanti, who were murdered by the police. We really want to bring Dominique's mother to Boston for the Days of Solidarity with African people. We can all do this if we work together.
Yeah, and we need you. We need everyone to be.
We need everybody. And for non-white folks, there's the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement.
Impedum.
It's called Impedum. Go to Impedum, INPDUM.org. We're also doing really incredible work all over the world. You can see the presence of these organizations in the U.S., now in Boston, in Florida, in Oakland, in the Bahamas, in Africa, in Colombia. This is a worldwide movement of freedom and peace-loving people that want to see justice for the entire world and put an end to this parasitic capitalist system that keeps us all down.
Yeah, the passion behind what you're doing is real, and I thank you so much. Whoa. Oh.
No, we started off slow, but then you get talking.
Oh, so much, really.